Good morning, Market Snappers. Welcome back. This is Jesse getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. Woo! Starting to feel a little bit better. A little bit. The trading bot's going crazy today. Hear that sound in the background? It's the trading bot. One of them. So, anyways, dang, we're slowly getting a little bit better. Started with the daughter. Then me and the wife got on Saturday. She had a fever, and then me and the wife, after cuddling her all day Saturday, it was raining too, so it's not like we could have done anything anyways. But it was awesome to just cuddle her while she napped in our arms, pretty much all day. We just kept passing her back and forth, and then of course we got sick on Sunday. We never really got taken down to where we couldn't work or anything. We would just have chills or slight fever here or there throughout the day, but that's about it. So still been able to the wife is working all day. I'm on the charts all day. So and we got the nanny downstairs, and of course the nanny just got the cold or whatever it is as well. So that sucks, but she's battling through as well. But woo, here we are, still doing it. Even though I wasn't feeling well, though, probably the worst was Monday. We still did like an hour and 40 minutes, and then we did more than an hour yesterday. And I felt better once we got warmed up than at the start of the live stream. And today I feel a lot better than I did Monday. So we'll see. I still get a cough drop in. I'm not really coughing. It just kind of helps clear me up a little bit. But good morning. If you're new to the channel, awesome. Welcome. If you're returning to the live stream, then welcome back. Even better. We will cover the watch list, right? Bitcoin, altcoins continue to bleed out. Stocks, the VIX is pumping, the dollar's been bullish, etc. So, second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. So just make sure to put in the ticker symbol. Make sure to put in the name of the asset like Lawrence did yesterday. He did an awesome job on the live stream. And then the asset class. Is it crypto? Is it stock? There's a lot of overlap. And all the details. He was talking about he was short from 8 cents and wanted to write it down to 5 cents. Then we could dive into your chart if you just give me all the details. So the more details, the better. And we had to keep the live streaming. So there we go. I'm not sure what that means. I don't have language on here. Sorry. Yeah, I'll show you some weekly charts. But obviously, I don't give any financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully you find a little bit of entertainment along the way, whether that's making fun of me or not. But yeah, we can look at some weekly charts because based off of higher time frames, this is more of the beginning of a move than an ending of the move, in my own personal opinion and my own personal experience. So I'll go from there. I don't get it. Thank you, FICO's 83. Appreciate that. I don't. Oh, Thomas, I can guess that you reposted the stream. Thank you. But I don't speak. I barely speak English, let alone anything else. I do have some. I do know all the bad words for Spanish, right? As a neighborhood I grew up in, the product of my environment. But other than that, other than the bad words in Spanish, I don't know. I'd say math is my first language. $87,400. Ooh. Yeah. Thank you. Slowly. It's like I'd rather just get hit hard for 24 hours. Like we all got food poisoning 4 months ago. We went to a poke shop And I found out at the checkout, I was like, why are your most of your ingredients are gone. Poke is for those of you who don't know what a poke bowl is, it's raw fish, right? And rice and whatever toppings you put on it. And I was checking out and paying, and I was like, I made a comment. I'm like, you don't have a lot of your ingredients aren't full. Like you're missing a lot of ingredients, and it's at the bottom of the bowl. And they're like, oh yeah, we're closing today. I'm like, I was like, man, I do not want to eat this. It's a raw fish poke bowl place. It's the bottom of their barrel, and it's their last day going out of business. But long story short, we ate it. Me, the wife, and the baby had some rice that was probably touching. Well, she's not. She's a toddler now, but she's like 17 months. But um, we made that. Like, I foresaw it happening, but I just paid like $50 for 2 meals. And I was like, we really wanted it. I'm like, it should be fine. But I was like cautious. And then sure enough, 24 hours, we all got sick from it. And then we all bounced back quickly. But I'd almost rather do that than have it linger for 5 days. It's just annoying, right? But here we are. Here's what I'm circling over here. We talked about this on all the live streams. If you've been following me for any length of time, it's 2021. I've said so many times, if we get daily candle closes below, and of course, weekly candles follow that, the probability is increased that we're going to go much lower, right? So target 4 was kind of like the last stand for the bulls. It bounced. So the local top that I called all the way from like January to April, and it had a 32% correction, found support at target 4, had bullish divergence, and then flipped bullish back again. And I posted that April 11th. It found support at target 4. As of right now, and I mean, things could change, but it closed below target 4. There was a wick, there was a wick, there was a wick, multiple wicks, but yesterday was a candle close below it. What the indicator is telling us is that it's getting oversold, right? And yes, probably due for a bounce. And yes, I did talk about. Let me just check the trading bot real quick. It's on fire right now. Ooh wee. Yeah. So it is getting oversold, right? But on the daily chart, just as it was getting overbought up here at 124, right? Sometimes it's when the magic happens and you see a bigger move to the downside, and sometimes you see a bigger move to the upside. And sometimes it's just a warning that, hey, is getting overbought or oversold. So it's like a caution. So we'll see. But right now it's like, looks like it's sometimes when the magic happens to the downside. I mean, it's just bearish. There's no way around it. You just don't want to be like, I mean, you make your own decisions in life, but you just don't want to be catching or trying to catch a falling knife. Unless you can dodge a wrench, I wouldn't recommend trying to catch a falling knife. No matter what your conviction is. Oh, I've got so much conviction. Okay. Just look at the charts neutral. Just try to look at the charts neutral. Stack the probabilities in your favor and do your best to execute what you see on the charts. Whether you're a longer term investor, a swing trader on the daily chart, blah, 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 right? So up here, we're talking about the 108,250, 200-ish was the important support. We talked about it before it broke down. We talked about it when it bounced on it. It bounced on it. It bounced on it. It went through this battle from May 2025 all the way till it broke down November 3rd, right? What was that? 6 months, roughly. May 20, 5.5 months, right? I don't know. Maybe math isn't my language. Not right now. I'm a little out of it still. Excuse me. But this was the important support. We lost that with the weekly candle close below it. Then over here on the live streams, we were talking about this is tiny support. I don't expect it to hold as long as it did over here at the important support that was lost. And then since then, right, since the 101, it's dropped what 14% in 8 days. So, you know, buy the right dip. Buy the right dip. If you get nothing else out of this, buy the right dip. We are below $87,000 right now. What's up, Ivan the G? What up, Ivan the G? Hey, Jesse, what do you think of 86 being the price of the region for expected bounce Bitcoin, not to buy, but to look for a short? I mean, people said the same thing at 87, 88, 89, 90. You know, if you're looking for a short to bounce, like I laid out that crazy scenario that, you know, once it's done going through this drop, which it's already at like what, 30 something percent drop, 31% drop. Maybe it would bounce like into Thanksgiving because you want families to be thankful at the dinner table, right? You think, but and then correct after that. But it's in a free fall right now. 86,800. So it's just kind of waiting patiently, right? Like if it bounces back into the train dots, maybe like it bounced back in the train dots and then dropped. Came down, bounced back in the train dots, flipped, buy signal above, reversed with a sell signal back down. But the higher time frames were reversing. So, you know, we weren't talking about this buy breakout here because it was the bearish engulfing candle on the 3-week chart. It was the weekly bearish divergence, blah, blah, blah. Everything we've talked about. So another place to attack it here, right? This is really early and you would have been holding through a little bit of pain, right? And then but I wouldn't short it unless you're like you know what you're doing, right? I wouldn't short it unless you know what you're doing. A lot of people want to start shorting something when it's already down 30, 40%. And the most people wanted to short it when it was towards the end of 2022. I was like, you can, but 2022, I was getting like November 2022, people were talking about shorting it. I'm like, yeah, you could probably make more money shorting it, but I became less and less confident shorting November 2022 because it was at the end of a move. It wasn't the beginning of a move, right? So I was less confident. In fact, we were talking about bullish divergence for like 8 weeks. And then we were waiting for a higher probability of a reversal, a higher low, breakout, all that stuff. Weekly chart was flipping around, blah, blah, blah. So, so first you got to see it bounce. And it depends on what time frame you're on, but if it does bounce to 98,000, I mean, probably, but I don't know if we'll see if it gets there or not, but maybe a Santa Claus rally, I don't know, but you know, the way it would play out is, similar to the way I was showing before the drop, right? So if it's bouncing the next breakout, like shorting the lower highs, right? Depending on what time frame you're on. This is the daily chart, but if you're on the 4-hour chart, blah blah blah, who knows? But uh it's short the bounce season right now, but it's got to bounce first. Ooh, didn't even get a bounce here. Jesse, your fractal sucks. It didn't even bounce her. I know. It was never meant to be. The fractal that I drew out on October 8th, when price was at 123,700, never expect the fractal to play out exactly. I expect it to play out similarly, but not exactly, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, possible then, but um, you know, I see what you're saying. Like, could bounce at 85, 200, 86 on the weekly chart, uh, or it could come all the way down to this pivot point at 76,000, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, the main support that was lost, the important support was lost at 108, 200. And I was saying back here, you were all on the live streams, or whoever was all on the live streams, that I was like, and I posted on X. And I was like, this might be the last chance you could sell your Bitcoin at $110,000 for a couple of years, right? And it still gave you like another week to like sell at $110,000. So, but not now. Now it's at below $87,000. Excuse me. Just gonna keep pounding these cough drops. So again, this was laid out. This is not the hindsight crew or the denial crew. This is just showing you what I see on the charts. Whether I don't care what you do with your money, right? I don't care what you do with your money. I try to help, but at the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions in life. Whether you're following influencers, whether you're following the narratives, the noise, the news, whatever. I just show you what I see in the charts, and and that's it. That's it. You got to make your own decisions in life and live with those decisions. But hopefully, they're based off of probabilities, because you don't want to gamble, right? You don't want to gamble and then lose, and then double down on a gamble and lose again. So don't do that. What else? Let's go back over to the higher time frames. So yeah, I'm just pointing out daily candle close below target 4. HODL, just filling gaps like we laid out. Just filling gaps. So you hear about the ETF inflows. You hear about the ETF outflows. I don't. It's not showing up on my X feed. Put in the comments. Are anyone talking about the ETF outflows right now? Everyone talked about the ETF inflows, right? The institutions are here. Aren't you glad? Filled this gap. The head and shoulders on HODL, which is not my strategy, by the way. And it's not HODLing is not most people's strategy. Most people say they're going to sell the top. There's very few, I think, that are hodlers. Maybe they've become hodlers, but they start off as forced hodlers, because because everyone has the grand idea to sell the top and sell the bottom, but you can't sell the top unless you're selling the local top, because the local top, it starts as a local top and then it turns into the top in hindsight. So if you're not selling the local top, you're not selling the top. And I've been saying that for forever, and it's proving that once again. So you have to sell the local top to build, and then in hindsight, it's the top. On chain didn't call the top in 2022. On chain, or 2021, 2022. On chain's not calling the top in 2025, 2026 either. Per the post that I don't log into on chain. All the on chain guys agreed with that in 2022, but I still see them posting on chain. But they gain more followers than I do, so it is what it is. HODL gap coming in. The next one's at 24, but so maybe find a bounce, but we talked about this at $20. If HODL is at $20, then Bitcoin price is at like $67,000 to $70,000, right? So if it gets back down into here, it's like $65,000. There's a lot of gaps to be filled, and if it retests, that's just the confuse myself, but that's just like the bottom, right? If it came back to retest here, we would be probably at like $40,000 Bitcoin for a full retest. I mean, you got gaps all the way up. I don't even think I put all the gaps on, because at the end of the day, they're great for targets, but not all gaps get filled. But they weren't going to leave the market bosses weren't going to leave all these gaps unfilled. Like leaving one small gap of, say 3 or 4% from 1974, it's not significant, but rarely have I seen a 20% gap go unfilled, right? Maybe not today, tomorrow, or next year, but eventually they get filled, upside or downside, right? To the upside or downside. Let's see what else. Small gap filled, right? It was a small gap, and we had the small gap. We were one of the only ones talking about it over here. Everyone was talking about it, but filled the small gap, right? It was a tiny gap. It's a little bit of a gap, but HODL was telling us everything, right? HODL was telling us everything. There was a gap over here that was filled. That was a filled gap. But HODL has all these gaps, all these gaps over here. And like I said, it have it all the way down. I think it started here. So yeah, if it retested HODL, retested the low point, the lowest point, it would be back below $40,000, which is a much better time to buy than at $110,000. Call me crazy. I mean, we don't know. That's fortune telling. I have no idea. But I mean, I have an idea, but nothing is certain, right? So what if it doesn't go that low? Like if you expect $40,000 and it only goes to $50,000, you probably will miss the bottom. If you expect $40,000 Bitcoin and it goes to 25,000, you're probably making wrong decisions, right? So even if it goes to 50, 40, or $30,000, right? I would be waiting for a higher probability of a reversal, just like I did January 4th, 2023. So in hindsight, it hit all 5 targets to the downside. In hindsight, coming in a longer term target too. In hindsight, Bitcoin hit target 5, which is currently at $40,000. In hindsight, in 2022, Bitcoin hit the 200-week moving average. Those weren't reasons to buy. I did say though, and I did post charts. I said, you probably find them, but I said, I'm not a dollar cost averaging bro, right? So you'll be a buy the dip bro all the way down. And then down here, and then you become just DCA bro. If you're ever going to be a DCA bro, I would only be a DCA bro below the 200-week moving average, right? But I don't need to be because I just wait for a higher probability of reversal. Because the dip could always keep dipping. There's never a guarantee, right? So target 2, see if it bounces, right? Target 3, bounce. Target 4 and the 200-week moving average, bounce. Maybe target 5 like it has in the past. Maybe somewhere in between. Maybe bullish divergence again at the bottom like there was 2022 that we were calling out for 8 weeks. And maybe a breakout after that, right? So those are all things we're watching. So if you look at it, when we're trying to figure out to buy the right dip, right? Buy the right dip. Right now, it's to the down. The momentum's to the downside, not to the upside. So you won't catch me trying to catch a falling knife or dodging a wrench. So, like, I wouldn't be shorting at $87,000. The shorts are back up here at 111 to enter a short. If it bounces and rallies for 45 to 60 days, then I would attack a short again like I did in 2022. I didn't short Bitcoin. I shorted Ethereum with 10x leverage at $3,408, and it was all over the Discord, right? So, but it's not a copy trading service. So don't sign up for the Discord expecting me to, it's not, I don't do copy trading. I never did copy trading. I was just showing what I saw in the charts, and I don't post as much as often as I used to because we're going full automation, baby. We're going full automation. I've been working on automation for 3.5 years. So no copy trading. You just figure out the settings. We've got some ideas that we've laid out, but you have full control yourself to come up with settings, blah, blah, blah. But that's a weekly chart. Coming in the target 2 right now. What if we don't get a significant bounce until price comes around that 74,000 range, right? And then we get a rally. And then, talking about mid 2026, retesting 200. And then if you're like, Jesse, I'm a DCA bro now. Cool. I can stomach that. I can't, what was it? This was posted on the 10th. Like if you're like, hey, I'm just going to put auto deposits every single week while it's under the 200-week moving average. I'm like, that's a pretty good strategy. Historically speaking, that would be a pretty good strategy. The problem is, what if, and this is why I personally wait for a higher probability of reversal, right? Like you got bullish divergence, right? This is the bullish divergence. Price comes up, puts in a higher low, and then breaks out, right? That's the higher probability. Breaking out of like a downtrend, right? I'm not saying it's going to play out exactly like this, but this is like the idea that we're talking about. So that setup is the higher probability of reversal, and still might be wrong. But if you're DCAing in here at say 54,000, yes, it's a lot better than DCAing at 110,000, right? In my opinion. I know this sounds crazy. You can get Bitcoin for 50% off, right? Who likes to pay full? No one I know likes to pay retail price. They'd rather pay wholesale price, right? The wholesale price is the 200-week moving average. So if you bought at or below that, at least you're buying wholesale. Doesn't mean the product's gonna be good, but at least you're buying wholesale versus retail. This anything above is retail, and you can sell it or not, whatever your situation is, whatever you want to be into. But if you're buying at or below, and this is true for all assets, right? If you're buying at or below the 200-week moving average, it's wholesale. It's not retail, in my opinion, right? So what I was going to say is, if the overall stock market, and we don't know if it is or not, and they might print us out of a crisis again, like they've done several times in the past. But this is just a what if. If we're in like a .com bubble slash AI bubble correction, which I still don't think it would last indefinitely, right? The .com bubble dropped 80% on the NASDAQ. Amazon, because of that, dropped 92%. If the NASDAQ were to drop, like this is based off the NASDAQ probably dropping 30%, right? If the NASDAQ dropped 80%, you'll probably wouldn't have wanted to dollar cost average in here. So there is the one stipulation of why you wouldn't want to DCA. All past bear markets, it would have been a good time to DCA. Past doesn't equal the future. What's up? What's up, Lawrence? You got it. Wait, long time market sniper? Right? Did you change your name? Long time market sniper since day one, 2022? Coming out of the woodwork? Is that you? I think so. Let me know. Let me know if that's you. I think it is. One of our only, not our only, but one of the few female snipers out there. Anyways, no, but I haven't been here for, someone else who's a female. I don't know if you're a female or a male, but not everybody used to be here several times. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was confused. We have a long time female market sniper. It's been around since 2022 and has a similar name. I can't remember though. Okay, cool. Excuse me. We'll make it through. Let me get some water here. There we go. So that would be the only thing. Will they allow that to happen? And will they print us out of it? I don't know. But regardless, the chart is going to tell us, right? So even though I think that's a great strategy in all previous bear markets, Bitcoin has never experienced a bigger market crash like the NASDAQ .com bubble or anything like that. So I've never experienced it. So it's only been around 16 years. So came out after the last 2008. So 2008 and 2000, Bitcoin's never experienced it. Yet we've seen Bitcoin drop 76% in the last bear market, like 80% the bear market before, 88% before that. So it's been lesser to the upside and lesser to the downside, unless we have a bigger market crash. Then we're probably going much lower and not even target 5 would hold. So that's personally Excuse me. It's personally why I would wait. This is a 2-week RSI chart. It's still pending an RSI sell signal as it has been, and it closes in 4 days, right? The odds are it's closing with an RSI sell signal on the 2-week chart, right? There was bullish divergence at the bottom, November 2022, more so December 2022. We covered it. We talked about it. We covered it. We talked about it. Strength is coming back in, and we are buying January 4th, right? I'll be ready for it. I'll be ready for it. Then RSI buy signal, the 2-week chart was in February. It's later, right? Later to the party. MACD, 2-week chart, right? January 2023 had a bullish crossover. This is based off the monthly chart, all the drawings. But the 2-week chart had a bullish crossover. We will be ready. We're not worried about it. We're not worried about it whatsoever. I don't need to DCA all the way down. I don't need to DCA. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. And just because I can take money doesn't mean I'm going to take money, right? Yep. You're right. We'll look. We can take a look at it. That's the 2-week chart. 3-week chart. Bullish crossover February 2023. I'm not worried about when it comes back down to these levels. I'm not worried about buying the right dip. I'll be ready to buy the right dip. It'll have taken most likely at least 11 months to find bottom, the bottom. I'm not worried about waiting 11 months to buy the right dip. I'll do that all day long, all day long. Yeah, I mean, right. I only have the 200-week moving average on it because even though I always have the 200-week moving average on, I'm actually not even an MA guy. Like I have the trending dots and stuff, but it's a slightly different calculation. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. 200-week moving average I use because it's pretty universal across all assets, in my opinion. Oh, that would be amazing, Gither. That would be amazing. We can take a look at it. That's the 3-week chart, right? 3-week chart had a bullish crossover February 2023. I'm not worried about buying the right dip. Bearish crossover on the monthly chart pending. Bearish crossover January 2022. Bullish crossover June 2023. Bearish divergence. Bearish divergence. Histogram increasing or decreasing the bearishness. December, January. I'm not worried about buying the right dip. at all. We nailed it in 2023, January 4th, and the plan is to nail it again. But I'll be waiting for. I'm not looking to catch the bottom wick. If you try to catch the bottom wick, you try to catch the bottom wick at 110, 100, 90, and then 88, 89. You get the point, right? You'll try to catch the bottom wick all the way down. I'm waiting for a higher probability of a reversal, right? But the monthly chart is very slow moving. Like we talked about, bearish divergence, relative strength is leaving the building. Pending RSI sell signal on the monthly chart as well, similar to MACD. It's lagging. Yeah, we're still seeing influencers call new all-time highs. Expect bounces, but I don't expect a new all-time high, especially after these monthly candle closes, right? Especially after that. So monthly chart, 3-week chart has a pending sell signal on the 3-week chart. Once you had a sell signal, once you had a candle close below the trending dots on the 3-week chart, it was additional confirmation. We already had that. Monthly chart, once you had a candle close below the trending dots, which is really late to the party, which is currently below the trending dots, then that was also the bear market. Otherwise, it's bounced or stayed above the trending dots the whole way, right? So you got the 3-week chart, bounce, right? Did not close below it. Close below it. Bounce, bounce, close below it, right? I mean, it's not rocket science. This is super basic. But being really good at the fundamentals of charting, being really good at your craft, whatever job, profession you do, and doing the basics all day, every day, obsessively, this is really easy stuff. So I'd rather be really good at the basics over and over and over again and take those base hits all day long than swinging for the fences and closing your eyes while you swing the bat. Definitely don't want to do that. Pending sell signal on the 3-week chart. Breaking news. Yesterday it was not. Pending sell signal on the 2-week chart. Breaking news. It was yesterday. There was a 2-week sell over here, and then a reverse. 2-week sell. 2-week sell. Right? So 2-week sell, but it was above the trailing dots. Right? So it's on track for this stupid fractal. I'm sorry about these fractals, but they're just ideas to hit the actual targets. And targets are more important. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Still in log. Probably not good. Weekly close for this longward up, this more parabolic trend line. And then this is the trend from the very bottom. Still uptrend, still uptrend, still uptrend, still uptrend, and close below. But again, like you're late to the party, right? You're late to the party. Better to be late than never. And definitely don't want to DC in all the way down, right? I'll be surprised if Bitcoin doesn't retest the 200-week moving average, just like back here, before it makes a new all-time high. I'd be surprised. I would be surprised. Yep. That's stacking probabilities. So, what else? Ethereum. Let's get back on the daily chart. Added target 5. Target 5 was hit. Started doing candle closes below target 4 before Bitcoin. Or was that the same day? 17th? Yeah, before Bitcoin. And then you got the 200-week moving average down there. Excuse me. Boy. Weekly chart on Algo. It's a downward sloping 200-week moving average. You know, there's just nothing there yet. XRP, come back in, get a candle close below 1.9, and, you know, odds are it's going much lower. Cardano, downward sloping 200-week moving average is not good, no matter what. I don't know. If the overall markets are correcting and Bitcoin's still correcting, that might have been the top. Like the top, right? It was a local top for sure, but Chainlink did not even hit longer term target 4, only hit 3 out of 4 targets to the upside. Started the downward 200-week moving average. It's not good. It's not good. XLM, Chop Suey, not good. Bitcoin dominance. We laid this out. We laid this scenario out in September. Here we are in November. And so maybe some altcoins are going to catch a bounce, right? I don't know. Maybe some altcoins are going to go into a mini altcoin season. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. November 2024 was awesome. We had 3.5 weeks of glory, right? My mom, 350% her account was spot altcoins. It would be awesome. I hope for it. I hope for it. I want people to. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But just because the Bitcoin dominance is dropping, you know, it's not guaranteed. It just maybe it means like some of the coins bounce, some of them don't, and maybe some of them are just lesser to the downside. I don't know, but this is what we're watching right now. We've been watching it. Talked about the sell signals on the Bitcoin dominance, right? Higher time frames, all that stuff. Meanwhile, the dollar is heading towards target 2, right? We've talked about this. We've covered it. It's heading towards target 2. Maybe a retest of the 200-week moving average. Lines up with everything we're seeing. The VIX is pumping hard. VIX is pumping hard. So bullish engulfing candle on the VIX. This is a wild animal, by the way. It's ultra bullish again. 2 out of 4 targets have been hit. I removed the first target. It's back above target 2. The probabilities are increasing. We're going to go hit target 3, target 4 on VIX. That's not good for the markets overall. TLT, dollar. What else? Magnificent 7. PLTR. Oh, let me get off log. There we go. Oh, bearish engulfing candle. Similar to the VIX bullish engulfing candle, but reverse opposite is true. TQQQ split has occurred. There was a stock split. And do you want to adjust your drawing objects to match your symbol? Sure. TQQ. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Full disclosure, I am short TQQQ with options. So what was the split? It must have been A 2-1 split. Yep, it was a 2-1 split. Okay. So 87 times 2, 92. Okay. Okay. Should I check it? Should I check it? No, I can check it. Anyways, SMCI back to the 200-week moving average. Netflix crashing. Nvidia bearish engulfing candle. ANF. The reason why I chose TQQ short is it's already because it's like a 3x bull ETF. So you take options multiplied by a 3x bull ETF, and it's like, whoa. It's like compounding the compounding, right? Obviously, I never go all in. I don't go all in. It is very, very risky. Like, it's probably the closest thing you can get to gambling without gambling. And I'm not a gambler. So trading the VIX, I've traded the VIX is the most gambling next to a gambler that just does it blindly. But anytime you do like these bull or bear ETFs, and then you don't want to hold them very long, and you don't want to go all in. But we could turn some lunch money into some dinner money. Daddy be able to buy some new diapers, right? But never go all in. Never go all in. But yeah, before I got into Bitcoin 2020, I know I felt like I was late to the party. A buddy tried to tell me about it back in 2017, but I was so busy with trying to build mortgage and real estate business. You know, that's all I focused on back then. So I wasn't trying to hear about Bitcoin in 2017. And he's like, I've got 3 Bitcoins. I'm like, okay, cool, man. And, so got into Bitcoin, trading Bitcoin 2020. So it's kind of late to the party, but not as late as getting in now. And much easier than trading options. Trading Bitcoin with 10x leverage is much easier than trading options because it came from the options trading. That's what I started in. And so anyways, long story short, TQQQ is you won't want to be holding this very long. I'm going to try to push it as long as possible, but I think the expiration date is in December. I don't have to look. Expiration date is definitely in December. I forget which week it was. Probably the second week. Give it some time to breathe. But most likely I won't be holding it all the way till the end of the expiration because I want to lock in realized gains. And there's going to be a big initial move, and then there'll be a bounce. I don't want to hold through the bounce. I want to catch the flush. So, and if it just continues to bleed out, I'll try to push it. So that's it. Dang, I really want to check. Never count your money while you're at the table, right? I do want to look at it, but I'm gonna withhold my urges. TQQ, Netflix, Nvidia. Yes, sir. It's an inverse ETF. TQQ is the bull. SQQQ is the bear ETF. 3x. It was. I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe they changed it, but split again. I thought it was. At one time, this used to say 3. Yeah, it's 3x. Yeah, 3x. So TQQ is the bull 3x ETF. SQQQ is the bear ETF. So by buying SQQ stock, or not stock, buying shares of the ETF, you're shorting the market, right? Without having to do options and knowing expiration dates and all that stuff, right? But this is not you know, you don't want to hold this very long, in my opinion. So that's the daily chart. You can see over time, right? You don't want to hold it. Dang, look at that wick. You don't want to hold it long term, right? It's high risk. I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's high risk. But if you're crazy, then you take option short. You buy puts like I did on the bounce, and then you short the bull 3x ETF. Oh god. I can't even believe I'm saying it out loud. But if you don't go all in, right? It's like buying scratchers. I actually don't buy scratchers, and I've never bought one lottery ticket in my entire life. Mid 40s, I've never bought one lottery ticket ever. This is the closest thing I can get to gambling, right? I'm just not a gambler. If we went to Vegas for fun, I would probably jump on the craps table, but I'm pretty boring on the craps table. I just play the 6 and the 8 point, which is the highest probabilities of winning, next to the 7 being the highest probability of losing. I just straddle the 7 with 6 and the 8 point. So even my gambling is boring. But I do it for the high fives, right? Like if someone gets hot on the table, it's just fun for like an hour on the craps table. But other than that, like I don't have any thrill of winning or losing the money because most likely you're gonna lose the money. I don't know. That's just what I decided. I don't know. I just decided that. I don't have an exact reason why one is better than the other. It's probably the same, right? So, anywho, what else? 420% because of the stock split or because the ETF split. Boom, 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 boom. What else? What else? What else? Let's look at. Oh my gosh, trading bot's going crazy today. Nasdaq. We're into target 1 on the Nasdaq. Do we check it off yet? Nah, we're not gonna check it off yet. All options are gonna have decay. So it's you against the clock. That's why it's more difficult than Bitcoin 10x leverage, right? You don't have that. You got holding costs, but it's not the same. Because you could be right on a chart and they can manipulate it time wise until all the way till the end of your expiration, where most of the options are, and you still lose. And then you get a flush up or down after that. So anyways, let's just keep going. I'm already an hour in. Nasdaq getting close to hitting target 1. The Russell, like we talked about, it already hit target 1. It was leading the way. Get it closed below target 1 again, not once but twice. Most likely coming down to target 2. SP 500 pumped all the way up to 6,800, and now you get close back below, heading towards target 1. Dow Jones, Tesla has hit 3 out of 4 targets. Google made a new all-time high. Dang. So that's about it on the Magnificent 7. Oof. 86,400. Yep. Bottom was not in at 93,000. The bottom was not in at 101. The bottom was not in at 106. The bottom was not in over here on October 10th. You saw the bottom callers all the way down. They'll literally do it all the way down. And then those switch from being buy the dip bros to just DCA, bro. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. What else? What else? What else? Oof, still watching this. Never got that bounce. Never got that bounce. Definitely not. It's the fractal is just an idea, right? Of where showing how, it doesn't just go in a straight line downward or a straight line upward, whichever way you're looking at the chart, right? It's just an idea, right? It hasn't worked out exactly correct. Like here, 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 but it's been different along the way, right? Like when I drew this out, I expected it to battle a little bit more. Over here, expected it to battle, what was that? Another 10 days longer, right? I just thought it would take longer to play out, but it continues to, and maybe the bounce is over here. Maybe the bounce is over here, right? So, no, it definitely not. It's just purely an idea, right? It's just an idea because based off of the actual strategy, bearish divergence, a lower high, a sneaky lower high, followed by a lower low, confirming these lower highs, lower high, lower low. But a lower high is the higher probability that the top was in. Not just because of the bearish divergence on the daily chart, bearish divergence on the weekly chart, bearish divergence on the 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart, bearish divergence on the MACD. I mean, you name it, right? There's a lot of reasons why. Don't forget the canary in the coal mine, right? The canary in the coal mine for MicroStrategy that we've been watching for 12 months. 100 MicroStrategy just hit 172. I didn't just put this chart out. I've been talking about it since over here, right? Based off the daily chart, there was a huge bearish engulfing reversal candle. And that's when I put, is the top in? There was a question mark. It was a question mark. We didn't know. There's a question mark, huge bearish engulfing candle, right? And I put out this arrow, top, is the top in, question mark? And then I changed it to the top was in. Came all the way back down. This is like a 57% drop. Adam and Eve double top pattern, right? Signaling much. I mean, it's an epic bounce too, right? So you can play the epic bounce of 97%. It's huge. And then the last drop so far is down 61%. And the canary in the coal mine has been in the bear market for 12 months. 365 days exactly, and is down 68%, right? Roughly within real close. So 68% is the canary in the coal mine. We're already seeing it come back to the 200-week moving average, right? We're already seeing it come back. Now we're seeing Bitcoin catch up. It was the canary in the coal mine in 2021. It was the canary in the coal mine to the upside. I posted bullish charts showing when Bitcoin was at 65,000, the next breakout. It's like MicroStrategy already broke out and hit XYZ target. Will Bitcoin follow? And it did, right? Like we don't know for sure, but we're always looking for canaries in the coal mine. Always, right? So why I shorted ETH with 10x leverage at $4,784 in the end of 2021. I did a 2-day chart comparison, Bitcoin versus Ethereum. And I saw a lot of the same things, but maybe was lagging percentage wise. And so I shorted it with 10x leverage, top 5 trade. I shorted it with 10x leverage end of 2021. I did a 2-day chart comparison with Bitcoin, and there was so many similarities, but price hadn't hit the same targets that Bitcoin has already hit. So the thesis was it will catch up to Bitcoin and hit similar targets and probably even faster. And so I shorted Ethereum, and I shorted it from $4,784 down to $2,500 with an automatic take profit at $2,500, front running one of my targets. One of my targets was at like 23, I don't know, 2350 or I don't know what it was, but I had an auto take profit at 2,500 because what I noticed in 2021, not because they're watching me on X, but because of I was noticing that bigger players were taking profit right before my target, like within $1,000 before my target on Bitcoin. So on Ethereum, I had auto take profit at 2,500 from 4,784. That is a huge drop, and then multiply that by 10x leverage, right? So no, I didn't go all in. No, I didn't trade $10, right? So somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. But so I'm always looking for the canary in the coal mine. Bitcoin led the way to the NASDAQ and the SP 500 in 2021. Turns out Bitcoin is also leading the way in 2025. And MicroStrategy led Bitcoin. So it's not just the indicators. It's not just buy and sell signals. It's not just any of that. It's like where I get the conviction is looking for like assets that move similarly or are kind of linked together. And if you see one leading and one lagging, I don't jump in the short on the leading one. I jump in on a short or I jump in on a buy, like to long a crypto or a stock. If on the lagging one, right? That's the magic. That's truly the magic. So if you got great indicators or full automation, could be even better than that. But like assets, and then you set an automation and you set up the entire plan, and you don't actually pull the trigger yourself. You let the trading bot do it for you. So if you're like, oh, MicroStrategy's in a bear market, this is going to be a short the bounce type of scenario, and then Bitcoin starts to roll over, and the new all-time high was here in October, right? So Bitcoin made a new all-time high and then reversed. Meanwhile, MicroStrategy had a bearish engulfing candle, and it was already down. The canary in the coal mine was already down 44%. The likely scenario is Bitcoin's going to catch up. And then once you have your confirmations, there's already bearish divergence, blah, blah, blah. The lower high, lower lows, all that stuff, right? You could, at that point, that's when you're like, oh, it was a fake out. Oh, it was a bull trap, right? It was a bull trap. So I don't know if that was a long-winded answer. Well, it's a great question. We have no idea. But in the past, it comes back to the 200-week moving average. That's the blue line. So the 200-week SMA, right? That's what I have on there. I don't care if it's SMA, EMA, MA, blah, blah, blah. I have it on the SMA. So, but it doesn't really matter. They're all going to be fairly close to each other, right? Once an asset goes multiple deviations above the 200-week moving average, it's like pulling a rubber band in one direction, and you pull it too far, it snaps back. And then sometimes not only does it come back to its means, it will go below the mean. So if the 200-week moving average is the mean reversion, it could go below it. This, the Adam and Eve pattern price target, it's possible, right? $72. Possible. We don't know. 200-week moving average is at $139. Seems like it's a high probability. Today, tomorrow, 3 months from now, who knows, right? Maybe it finds support here. Maybe it finds support here and doesn't hit it right away. But if you look from here at $15. So if you go back, it went here. It went down 55% from the 200-week moving average. And I'm not saying it's going to do that again, but even over here, it was 57% below the 200-week moving average. Top was in, crashed, rallied, crashed to the 200-week moving average, and went 57% lower than the 200. Bullish, went multiple deviations above, outperformed Bitcoin to the upside, and is outperforming Bitcoin to the downside, right? Higher, so Bitcoin is less. So if you saw like maybe 30% below, that would suggest like that Adam and Eve chart pattern suggests 46% below the 200-week moving average, right? $74. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We don't have a magic crystal ball, but if it was like 30%, like Bitcoin's done in the past, that'd be below $100. If it went 57% like it has in the past, be at $58. I have no idea. I was very confident that price would come back and retest the 200-week moving average. Probably going to go below that, but the probabilities are the 200-week moving average. Fairly confident about that. So that's canary in the coal mine. But your favorite influencer thinks Bitcoin's going to go make new all-time highs, and talking heads are saying $250,000 by the end of Q4 2025. And the canary in the coal mine's been in a bear market for 12 months. The trend is down, right? It's a downward trend right now. It'll take time for the ship to get turned around. The higher time frames are flipping bearish, just like we covered on the monthly MACD, right? It's going to take time for this to get turned around. It's a slow, lagging monthly indicator. Bearish crossover. It took a long time for the ship to get situated and then start to turn around, and then it starts to build momentum back up to the upside. So it's crossing over bearish. It had a great run. You can go all the way back to January, right? Based off the daily and the weekly chart. It had a great run. And then it started topping January. Like, hasn't done much in the last year. So, I mean, it went up to 126. It's awesome. We were buying at 16,800. I'm not worried about buying the dip all the way down. So, HODL doesn't even have a monthly MACD. Right? RSI sell signal on the monthly chart. So, that's where we're at. People are talking it was getting oversold, but it can remain oversold just like it can remain overbought, right? Here's an instance where it was getting overbought and remains overbought. It's sometimes when the magic happens. Not always, but sometimes. Oversold, oversold, oversold. Shorter term. Overbought, right? Overbought, oversold, oversold, overbought, oversold, oversold, can remain oversold, right? That everyone's not everyone. I've seen posts that people are saying it's capitulation. Not yet. It happens towards the end of the move. This is starting to be capitulation. This is, in my opinion, capitulation, right? 41% move towards the bottom. So this is the capitulation. This is where I attacked Ethereum on my second 10x leverage trade, right? 2022, 3408. I was saying Ethereum could go below $1,000 and it hit like 850. I didn't hold it all the way to 850, but oversold, oversold, oversold. So there we go. There we go. Can remain oversold, but expect bounces along the way. So maybe we will get that bounce at a later time than say up here that I drew. Doesn't really matter. Their overall trend is down. So any bounce, is like your chance to get out or not. But the pain is to the downside. There's still so many bulls trapped. Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. That was epic. Epic. That was so great. So, anyways, is that it? Was there a request? ETH update? Yep. Covered it briefly. I covered ETH briefly. Down in the target 5, getting oversold, but can remain oversold, like we already talked about. Oversold, bounce, right? It's bearish. Weekly chart. Bearish. Two-week chart as a pending sell signal. Monthly chart as a pending sell signal. So was that hit? Was that the all-time high? Oof. Oof. Maybe, baby. What else? What else? Just looking at all the comments. Yep. I think that's it. I think we covered it all. So let's see. So just $87,000 Bitcoin. Target 4 smashed. Rivian? Where is Rivian? I have it on here. Oh. There we go. There we go. Still chopping around. And my doodling looks like it will chop around. Maybe it chops around for months and then eventually retest the 200-week moving average, but not something I'm into right now. Virtual, I don't know. I don't think I've ever charted that one. Virtual. USDT. Binance. Probably like all the other altcoins, bearish, right? Bearish on the daily chart. So this was based off of the Binance. I don't, there's not a lot of chart history, so I don't usually spend a lot of time on the ones that don't have it, but that looks like that was it at $2.58. And then it came all the way down to 27 cents and took out the pivot point. So doesn't look good. Like I said, there's not enough chart history, so like throws the algorithms off, but trading dots are trading downward. Weekly chart is pending. That was the bounce, right? The all-time high, all-time low, bounce, So that's about it. That is about it. Oh, Lawrence. Lawrence, did you close? Dang, 250%. No wonder why Bitcoin dominance is breaking out. Where is the next tensor? Lawrence was shorting this and then got out. Said he was getting out yesterday. So he asked me about his short. And even though I don't give financial advice, I was saying that when there's a pending buy signal, price was, I said, if you have a stop loss, then you're probably, thanks, you're the best. Get well, thank you. Thanks, King. Lawrence, are you still on here? Yesterday there was a pending buy signal, and I was like, well, if you don't, you better, hopefully you have a stop loss in, because probably gonna get stopped out. Then you could probably move your stop loss to break even so that you don't take a loss, because it looked like it was reversing, right? There was a pending buy signal yesterday. Then there was a buy signal confirmed, and then went down to 0.0756, and then it just exploded. What is that? Probably, right? So what's today? What is today? Thursday. Oh my god. So Thursday, right? Is the 1 hour chart. I think you were on the 5-minute chart or something, right? But we did the call at 9, and at 10 o'clock, I was like, well, there's a pending buy signal in the daily chart. So it looks like it's going in the opposite direction. And if you're trading with the trend, like on a 5-minute chart, do you want to take shorts on the 5-minute chart when the 1 hour chart is bullish? These are all things to consider. If the 4-hour chart is bullish, do you want to take shorts on the 5-minute chart or the 15-minute chart or whatever the case is? Like, when it's bullish, the momentum is to the upside. When it's bearish, the momentum is to the downside. So when this was bullish on the 1 hour chart, you have to ask yourself, is it better to take longs or shorts on any time frame, right? Can you do contrarian trades? Yes. But my own personal thought, based off of past experience, is that it's more profitable long term to trade with the trend. But you have to identify what that trend is. So on the 1 hour chart, it was bullish, which we didn't look at the 1 hour chart. We only looked at the daily chart. The daily chart was pending a buy signal. And then I found out afterwards, later in the stream, when we were talking about it, that you shorted on the 5-minute chart. But still, like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you could probably get away with it. But still, I'd rather trade with the trend. So, like, if it's bullish on the higher time frames, and then the next 5-minute chart has, a long setup, like a buy long setup, then to me that is the easier, the least path to resistance. So whereas Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart, all higher time frames are bearish. So the 1 hour buys are getting sold off bigger, right? The 1 hour buys are getting sold off bigger. The 1 hour buys are getting sold off bigger. So it's trading with the trend. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Jelly bean. So I think that's about it. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I have to start charging you if I can go this long. Hour and a half. Yeah. I'm tired. So with that, thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you, and we'll continue to sniper the markets together. And with that, hope you have a good rest of your day, and we will see you on the next one. Adios.